To begin your Connect assignments, you'll start by clicking on the puzzle piece and click on Connect. This will take you to MH Campus. To launch Connect, you will go below your book and click on the Connect box. When your home screen launches, you will see that your assignments are found in folders. To open it week 1, click on the down arrow. In this video, we're going to concentrate on your Smartbook assignment for Chapter 1. To launch the assignment, you'll click on your blue arrow. You'll see this will take around 35 minutes to complete. It will also have your assignment details with your start date, as well as your due date and the time it needs to be submitted by. As you can see, I've already been in progress here, and I have 100 possible points I can obtain. I'm going to click Continue. Once the Smartbook launches, you'll notice that it looks very different from your book. It is identical page by page, but as you can see, the reading is actually grayed out. What you're going to want to do is look for what makes this system so powerful is just the highlighted materials. The author team, as well as subject matter experts, have gone through the book and highlighted what is very important at a specific time in a specific place. So you'll read your highlights by clicking on the next highlight button. As you click through these highlights, you'll read the actual highlight and then continue through. As you notice, there's a difference between the highlights here. Some are yellow and some are green. Again, I had already been in this assignment working. The yellow highlights are items that I have not gained full knowledge of and have not shown mastery, where the green shows that I have mastered these concepts. So I'll read the yellow highlights and continue reading them. When I've read those highlights completely, I'll click on Next Highlight. And again, when I've read that, I'll click on Next Highlight again. These highlights will change as you work through the system. As you work through the system will begin to understand your learning style and what works best for you as a learner. It will evolve as you continue throughout the system. Please note that no two students will ever have the same learning path, the same learning questions, or the same movement throughout the system. Once you've read enough, you will actually have a coach that will pop up. The coach will let you know that you've read enough and it is time to go into practice mode. When it's time to go into practice mode or practice phase, the blue button will begin to actually blink. When it starts to blink, you'll click on that button and you will be then brought into what's called the practice mode. The practice mode consists of a list of questions that you will be presented with to help you understand and master the questions that will basically reiterate everything that you've just read. So you will look at the questions, click on the answer you think is right, at that point, I'm going to rate myself. These are called probes. And each one of these probes should be a rating in which you think you are at this point and this time on this question. If you're unsure of this question, then you would click unsure. If you think you're correct, but you're not at 100%, you'd actually click on I think, or think so. I actually got the answer correct. So the system knows that I was semi-confident with my answer. The system takes in many data points as you're working through it. There's time on task, whether or not you launched the ebook to actually reread that section, how you rated yourself as well as many others. I'm going to click OK. And as you can see before I do that, there's 44 items left. Now that's 44 items in the entire chapter, not just the objectives that we were just working on. So just know that the system chunks this out in small amounts to make sure it's manageable for you as a student. And again, it will evolve for you as you are learning. I'm going to click OK. It's going to give me another one. As you can see, we did go to 43 items now. So you'll work through the system in what's called practice mode until you've completed enough and covered the material that you just read. At that point, the coach will again pop up and let you know it's time to go back into read mode. Again, this will start to blink, and you'll proceed back into the read mode. A couple other navigation things just to note for you. Over here on the side is each objective and each page. If you would like to move around that way, you definitely can. You would just click on that and move to the next page. The power is behind the highlights, so it's usually recommended that you go from next highlight to next highlight. To get rid of this pane on the left, if you want to see the book just entirely in its whole, just click on the 4 squares. As you can see, practice mode started blinking again, and it's time for me to make sure before I go any further that I have actually mastered the objectives that I've read so far. So again, it's going to bring me back to the questions, and I'll begin. Let's just say at this point, I'm highly unsure of this, and I really should probably read about it. Anytime you want to read about that question, you're more than happy to go back and reread this area. Again, the system knows that you're launching the ebook and that you definitely did not know the material, which is fine. This is all about you understanding the basic concepts before you come to class and understanding items and materials to make sure that when you are lecturing or going through your lectures or doing your homework, that things make sense. You at this point should be able, when you complete this assignment, to actually use critical thinking and more upper level learning styles at this point. You will have a basic knowledge base coming into class. If you decide that at any point that you do give up, you can absolutely give up, have a learning moment, understanding what that correct answer should have been, and again, you will not have that same question ever again. It will be represented in an entirely different manner the next time. One other mode, so we have the 3 phases of Smartbook. We've seen read phase, we've seen practice phase. Now I'm going to talk about recharge. Once we get to a completion and we've gone through all 43 of these items, we should be at 100%. So we'll go to the table of contents. After you've completed an assignment to 100%, it will show up here. At that point, within a couple days, the system will actually create you what's called a recharge. And this is going to be another assignment just of the probe questions. These questions will bring to light everything that you possibly struggled with or it took you longer to master. It will also take into effect anything that we as humans actually lose in terms of knowledge just because of time. It's called memory decay. And yes, it takes that into effect to make sure that those items that are going to be harder to remember or that students struggle with, it will actually be represented in that as well. These are items that students will use for review right before a midterm or an exam or even a final exam. So whatever works best for you, that is an item that you can do on your own at any point to help you hone in on those items. So that is actually Smartbook. To leave Smartbook, you will go over to your navigation here, click again on the 3, and click Leave Smartbook, and it will take you back to your home page. I hope that answers any question you have about how to navigate Smartbook. Make sure that you definitely take the opportunity to complete these assignments. It's worth 100 points. And just know it's a very low stakes assignment. It doesn't matter how many times you get something wrong. We're after completion. So this is the easy 100 that allows you to be prepared for class and have a higher learning moment when you attend class or you're learning your lectures in an online setting.